Welcome back to Good Day, where we love local. And the next time you're at Barnes & Noble at Fallen Timbers, look around. The author whose book you're buying might be right behind you.
Hello. That local author might be Samantha Gail, and you can meet her Saturday at Fallen Timbers. Good morning. Thanks for being here today.
Morning.
So you wrote a book that you have been working on for a minute.
Pretty much my entire life.
Wow.
So you said this idea came to you when you were
I was
5 years old.
Yeah, 5 or 6 years old. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, Beauty and the Beast.
So that makes sense. I get it.
I love it. It was the very first movie I saw in theaters. And so kind of as I've gotten older, it's taken on different iterations until finally we have Epoch here today.
All right. And so this is a twist with National Treasure.
Yep.
And that sounds really fun because I do remember the movie, and I know, Stephen, you said there's a series too.
Yes.
So how do these worlds combine?
So it's kind of like I am offering an alternative explanation for missing pieces of history. So that's all going to get incorporated into the curse that, of course, we have to break for the beast.
So let's talk about this. This is your first romance novel?
My first romantic fantasy.
Okay,
yes.
romantic fantasy.
Yep.
Okay, so take us through the process over the past 30 or so years. As you mentioned, you said that you've had this idea.
Yeah.
So what really, we know what inspired that, but what are you trying to get across to the reader?
So this was kind of my way of making Belle's character the actual heroine. The Disney movie that we all know and love, she has this wonderful song about wanting adventure and getting out of her town, and then she does nothing to save the day, like a teacup pulls her out of her own house kind of thing. So my version of Belle, her name is Myriel, and she is like fighting her way through everything. She is the one who breaks the curse, solves all the riddles, fights all of the enemies, and she's like overall just...
She's fierce.
She is the woman we all want to be.
Wonderful. But it's not the first book that you have completed. You had one that came out earlier this year, right?
Yeah, my psychological thriller, Pay the Price, that is actually based on my old job before I had my midlife crisis and started writing books. I was a probation parole officer for sex offenders, so Pay the Price is loosely based on my experience there. It is not true crime.
Okay.
For all you true crime junkies, because I get that question a lot, it is not true crime.
Yeah, sounds interesting.
Definitely a lot of stories to pull from for that. Now, both of these books will be available at the event you have coming up this weekend, right?
Yep, heating up the holidays at Barnes & Noble in Fallen Timbers. The signing itself is going to be from 12 to 4. We have 8 authors there in total. We are doing a live podcast with Buzzing About Romance, though, at 11 a.m. before the signing starts, and those are open to reader questions. So get there early and come talk to us.
So the podcast will just break down some of the books and also what goes into it?
Kind of just talking about a little bit of everything, talking shop with writing, what it means to be a romance author nowadays, the joy of being in a Barnes & Noble, because, for most authors, that's kind of like, just the peak moment. That I'm very fortunate. Epic has actually been the Barnes & Noble bestseller for the past 2 weeks. So
that's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Huge. And when you talk about romance too, there's a lot of different ways romance can go. And I think people don't necessarily know that. We think of Fabio on the cover of the book.
Right. You will never see a cover like that with me. My cover was actually done by a BGSU graduate. Her name is Emily Wittig, so that I literally kept everything as close to home as I could with this one.
Yeah.
And what made you go into the fantasy then part of romance?
I think more so just I love fairy tale retellings. Most of my publishing schedule for the next 4 years is going to be fairy tale retellings, and so it was important to me to stay true to the story of Beauty and the Beast while still sort of bringing it into modern times. So like the world as we know it exists in Epic, but there's also kind of some magic happening behind the scenes. So.
And with the National Treasure twist, are we going to get a lot of American history within this?
You're going to get a lot of world history that I've loved. There are a lot of Easter eggs so far with famous people and famous places. So some of the readers have been reaching out to me like, is this person meant to be so-and-so? Like, I don't know, maybe. I don't know. So if anyone wants to come to me with a total of how many they think are in here, I will give you a free copy of the book, because I think that's so much fun.
It is fun when you find these things and as you're reading it and enjoying it. So come on out, get your copy. This weekend, tell us again when and where people can come.
This will be at Barnes & Noble Fallen Timbers on Saturday from 12 to 4 with a live podcast with Buzzing About Romance at 11 a.m.
Very good. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
That's huge, and can make a really great gift for someone too, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Very good. Thanks for being here today.
Thank you.